When you think of a list, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? There's a to-do list, grocery list, Christmas list, wish list, playlist. There's all kinds of lists that we rely on every day. And I just wanted to evaluate the different kinds of lists that we use and maybe some ones that would make everyone's lives a little bit easier and a little bit more organized. So there are 11 lists that I want to show you and talk about real quick. Well, of course, there's always your task list. To-do lists help us prioritize and figure out what's most important on our plate right now, what we really need to accomplish and what we really want to accomplish. It's great for anyone on any level of any sort of organization. It's really helpful. Something that is especially helpful is keeping all of your to-do lists in one place. For those of you who are technical savvy, or maybe not technical savvy, but you appreciate using like Google Calendars or anything like that, I know Google has a task list on your Gmail. There's another site called Wunderlist that I really have liked before. It's got a really nice layout. I'll put a link below for you just in case you want to check it out. Or you can Google to-do lists and a lot of websites pop up, so there's lots I haven't tried. Maybe there's something better that works for you. There's always a wish list. I have a terrible problem with like seeing something that I'm like, I really want that. Like I want a fountain pen, but that's not really something I think of all the time. Like if my birthday's coming up or it's Christmas is coming up and someone says, what do you want for Christmas? On the opposite side of that, there's a gift list. If you ever have something that you think would be perfect for that one person, write it down as soon as you can. Put it in the gift list, and that way, whenever it comes around to birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, you can have something on hand and ready to go. Of course, there's a grocery list, but if you buy things regularly, type it out in sections of like dairy, meats, vegetables, leave a couple extra spaces so you can write in anything unusual. Print it out every week, cross off the things you don't need, and just go with this list. And it's much easier also if you know the layout of the store that you frequent, then you can do it in the path if you go in a certain way. There's also something that's a checklist for things that are regular in your life. Winterizing your home, for instance, or packing to go somewhere. Have a checklist printed out of the stuff that you'll need. There's a ton of different things that you can use a checklist for. Here's one that I really need to start. It's for a list for your links and your logins. And if you're frequently on the internet, then you have at least a handful of sites for which you have a login and username and a password. I don't necessarily suggest writing down passwords unless you have a very safe place to keep it. If you have different logins for different things, it's a lot easier. One thing that's really helpful for getting yourself motivated is having a list of your goals. These goals can be short-term or they can be long-term. For any of you who make or do a lot of projects, home improvement, cooking, any sort of craft, it's a good idea to have a list of the supplies you'll need before you start your project. Just sit down and do that so it helps you get a hold mentally of the stuff you have to do, and also so you don't have to like run to the store in the middle of a project. That sucks. Here's a list that I find very helpful. It's great for clarifying and figuring out what's going on in my brain. It's called a list of 100. It's really simple. It just is really frustrating sometimes. First thing you do is that you write out to 100, like with enough space to, write something. Whatever the list is, title it, list of 100 things that I can vlog about. Then there's the tricky part. You have to fill it all up. The point of this exercise is that you'll get past all the obvious stuff by about 30 or 40. And then once you get past that, you start getting to the stuff that people don't necessarily think of, or stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think of off the top of your head. One of the rules is that you don't have to if I've written it before, I can't write it again. No, you can write it as many times as you want, because if your brain keeps popping it up, you write it down. You have to get to 100. That's the point. You can't get, I can't think of anything after 60. I'm just gonna stop. You're defeating the point of the exercise. Reach 100. Whenever you're writing, don't think, that's a dumb idea. I'm not gonna write that down. Write it down. It might be stupid now, but get all the stupid stuff out there too. Sometimes the stupidest ideas become the best ideas. So those last two are pretty similar. Of course, there's the bucket list. Everyone knows what a bucket list is. You should really write one. It's more of like a concept that a lot of people know about than a thing that a lot of people do. A really fun activity is to sit down and write out a bucket list with someone. Just watch the bucket list. You'll get plenty of good ideas. This other one's similar but not exactly the same. I have a lot of people recommend to me, like, you should read this, you should watch this, you should try this. But I forget. Write it down. Just keep a file on your computer of stuff that you want to try. You want to watch a movie or want to go to a restaurant tonight, and you're like, what should I do? And you scroll through your list of stuff you want to try, and you'd be like, alright, I'm going to try that new Thai restaurant. So there you go, folks. That's 11 lists that will help you live life a little bit, organize your life a little bit. So, see you later.